All right, so this is going to be a brief explainer and overview of the World History Modern course from College Board. This is an AP course, and of course, at the end of the course, there is an AP exam that the expectation is for students to take and make an attempt on. And so with that, we have 800 years of world history that we're going to study in this course, starting approximately 1200 and then working up to approximately 2001. This is a new course. Previously we taught all the way back to 10,000 BCE to the present, but now we're teaching approximately 1200 to the present, hence the modern tag on the course. And even just having 800 years of history, that can be really overwhelming for learners. And so this class has a few structures that help define it, that should help learners to organize information, to think historically, and ultimately be successful on the AP exam. And those three structures. First, periodization. Of course, this is a chronological history class. So subdividing the course into 4 time periods, each that kind of have their own little mini story, is key to understanding what happens within each time period. We don't divide time randomly. We divide time because there's a clear kind of beginning and end, and something turns to cause us to move into a new time period. And so each unit is a time period, and we'll talk about what the sort of story for that time period is, as well as kind of how it relates and links to time periods before and after. The second structure we use are 6 themes. Those themes are social organization and processes, political systems, interactions with the environment, cultural patterns and processes, economic systems, and technology and innovation. We use an acronym SPICE-T to summarize those 6 themes. And so within each time period, then we will look at it thematically across places to see, okay, so what is happening with social hierarchies around the world? What's happening with gender hierarchies? What are the major technologies that get added? How does culture diffuse and spread and change during the time period as a result of perhaps political or economic interactions between places? And so again, now we've got 4 time periods, we've got 6 themes. And so will we talk each theme, each time period at length? It depends, right? Because some time periods, there's not much happening in some of the themes, but there are major changes happening in others. So obviously we'll focus on highlighting the themes that really are the most important to each time period. And we'll fill in the gaps on the rest. Okay, so we've got 4 time periods, 6 themes. And then we will also talk world regions. That's the sort of third structure we'll use. We're not going to study the history of every single place in the world over 800 years, right? It's impossible. That's too much information. So we break the world down into regions, not continents, but by sort of cultural, political regions based on the sort of starting points in history, the foundations of history. So places where distinct cultural groups or political organizations developed. And some of this will build off of a sort of regional geography that learners had as freshmen. But we will always stop and look at, okay, so what is distinctive about each region? What's happening in each region that is different from the other regions? How are they interacting with each other? Who's the economic power? Who are the political powers? And then how does that shift either during the time period or across time periods? So we would typically say, the Americas would be one region, Europe sometimes dividing between West and East, Africa certainly dividing between North Africa and Sub-Saharan Africa, and then Asia will split several ways. We've got Southwest and Central Asia, South Asia, Southeast Asia, and East Asia. And then of course we've got Australia and Oceania. So those regions with 6 themes and 4 time periods should create a framework for learners that will make it easier to kind of place things in history in the right places and ultimately to more effectively understand the big picture patterns and processes that make up world history. Our approach to the course is to try to be as efficient as possible and to kind of double dip on activities as much as possible. There is the content acquisition piece within the course. That, of course, is going to be a lot of reading. That's history, right? Reading, sometimes watching videos, maybe it's listening to a lecture every now and then, but acquiring that information is going to be tied to some kind of processing activity or practice. One of the key practices in this course, one of the skills that kids are going to develop over the course of the year is argumentation, making a claim, supporting it with historical evidence, right? And so when we do reading, one of the formats that we're going to use this year is a structure called Reading for Meaning. And in that, we're going to present learners with a series of arguments or claims based on the reading that they will then either find evidence to agree or disagree with the statement. Sometimes the evidence may go both directions. So ultimately, learners will take a side and they'll give the evidence that supports whichever side they take. So not only are they reading and gaining new information, they're also practicing this argumentation thing. And that argumentation is key because 60% of the World History AP Modern exam is writing. And every part of that writing emphasizes a learner's ability to present a claim based on historical evidence, right? So even when we're just reading, we want learners to practice those skills while they're doing that, so that there's more, they get more out of everything they do in this class. It's not just, hey, read a whole chapter and try to memorize everything in the chapter. It is, all right, here are some claims about slavery in the ancient world. Does the evidence support it or not? Take a side, give the evidence that supports that side. It makes for more robust discussions where we can then turn those ideas over and we can discuss the evidence. We can look at the source of the evidence to decide whether that influences how we view the evidence. And all of these things are historical skills that we are going to apply as we're acquiring content, so that we are maximizing the time we have in this course and then applying those structures that I talked about previously to give us a way to think about that information. And so that is roughly AP World History Modern. Obviously there's more to the course, and that'll be presented in the syllabus and in some of the other course documents, but I just wanted to make a brief video to kind of outline what we're going to do in this course over, between now and the end of the school year, and look forward to seeing everyone. And I really love this course. It's a lot of fun to get to dig into how history connects to the present, how these big patterns and processes have changed over time, and to me, that makes this course much more interesting than just memorizing a list of facts and dates, which is not what we're here for, because I'm not preparing you to win trivia contests. We're hopefully preparing learners to put the world in context and understand how we got to where we are today.